Hi everyone. In respect to the World Mental Health Day, I see the need to drop this video. And if you find yourself here, you're welcome and thank you for joining me. So in this video, I'll be dropping my own way of helping people walk through anxiety. It's been done over time with people and I've seen results. You're welcome once again. Ivetilua Ijela is my name. A mental health nurse, a certified rational emotive behavioral treatment mindset life coach. So, what is this year's theme? It is anxiety. Anxiety. I know it's not strange to us. At some point or the other in our life, we felt anxious and worried. Anxiety is a feeling of unease, which is characterized with either fear or worries or both of them. The symptoms of anxiety is sweating, restlessness. Belching is one of those things that we don't really consider as anxiety symptoms. They are. While growing up, I remember that I belch a lot. I initiate belching until I realized that it's one of my way of coping when I'm anxious and trembling. Hyperventilation. You want to take more oxygen in. You want to breathe in fast, and weakness is also considered anxiety. Sleeplessness, yes, sleeplessness. And sometimes you can't get to take your mind off worries. You can't get to take your mind off whatever it is that is affecting you or you're thinking about. And one thing I want us to know is that anxiety has no age range. Every living human feel anxious at one point or the other. So it doesn't have sex, doesn't determine its sex. So when you see a man and you feel they are not anxious, they are. When you see a woman, you feel she's coping well with the stress, she isn't. And when you see a boy of 1 to 5 and you feel, oh, he should do well in school, that might be an exaggeration or trying to deny that boy or that child or that girl their reality, because they also feel anxious meeting new people, feel anxious settled in a new environment. They feel anxious basically too, because they are human and they have emotions. So what are going to types of anxiety? There's something called phobia. That means you're afraid of one particular thing or the other. I'm afraid of height and depth. So different phobias, fears that when you face that thing, either an insect, either an height, for example, there is also something called general anxiety disorder. That is this overwhelming anxiety. Now take your mind and look at how you feel when you want to speak to someone in a crowd, when you want to give a speech, or when you want to view your results. Imagine someone going through that every day of their life. Every second, every moment, they are in fear of what could go wrong or what is going wrong for no reason or no evidence of it. Now, there's something called social anxiety. Social anxiety is what most of us feel when we want to stand on a stage, when we want to stand on new people, as something that's associated with being in a social environment. And there's also something called separation anxiety. Separation anxiety is often seen in kids, in children between the ages of 1 to 4 or thereabouts, where they don't want to be separated from their parents. It is not as though it doesn't continue till age 10, because every child needs their parent. Another thing is substance induced anxiety. Some substances, some drugs induces anxiety. I remember when I was in secondary school, I think so, I had malaria and I was treated with one of these anti-malaria tablets, and I started having this apprehension. I talked to my dad. He drove me to the hospital. When we got there, I remember I haven't done nothing then. I remember the doctor telling me that it's just the side effect of the medication. I've never felt like that before. I've been using that group of anti-malaria anyways. So there are some medications that prone you to an apprehension. There are some medications that by the time they are in your system, you feel apprehensive. So panic disorder is this, it is really characterized with palpitation and apprehension. You feel a sense of overwhelming fear without an evidence. You can't control it. Your heart keep racing, and whichever one of this you're going through, try as much as possible to seek help, because over time, culturally, it has been said like, oh, you don't have courage, you don't have boldness. It's not about having courage, it's not about having boldness, it does not have to do with it. What it has to do with is an internal thing, and we can't characterize it with boldness, courage, or whatever it is. No, this person needs help mentally, needs help to address some thought process, need help to address some emotions, need help on handling it, because anxiety could be a sign that we need to get something right. For someone going on the pool or on the stage to present something, you want to question a lot of things that you've done. It could be healthy at that point in time, reassuring yourself through it. I've tried my best, I've done, is there anything else to do? Like a kind of rechecking. But it becomes really overwhelming when it is not for a positive cause, but it's for almost everyday life. The causes of anxiety. The causes of anxiety majorly is stress. There's always this stress somewhere identified, overshadowed, that we need to come out of. Stress. What are you facing? What are you going through? Are you sleeping enough? Stress. And lack of sleep also causes sleeplessness. Remember I said that one of the symptoms is sleeplessness. So if you are having sleeplessness because you are worried for certain thing, you are already going deeper in anxiety. So that's the symptoms, and it can also be called sleeplessness. Personalities. There are some personalities that are naturally prone to being anxious. There are some temperament that are naturally prone to being concerned. There are some personalities that are really just overthinker. They want to analyze everything, and that prones them to really being anxious. And it prones them. I'm not saying they will be, it prones them to be anxious. And trauma. What is trauma? Trauma is any event that happens to our life that alter our functioning. It may not alter your physical functioning, it may alter your psychological functioning. And it's not something that alters it immediately, but something that leaves a remarkable alteration, a remarkable pain in our life, really, and that's trauma. And the last one I want to really address is upbringing. How a child is raised. Is the child raised with love? Are you raised with understanding? Are you raised with compassion? I'm not saying normal misunderstanding that happen between parents, like do this, do that. No, like what love and what kind of parents raised you? Is it the kind of parent that wants you to carry the burden of their journey, or the ones that really wants you not to be part of it, even though you are aware of it? And then my counsel will be telling us why we need help, because I do this scripturally. I do it with God in mind, and I will want us to open our Bible to 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 3, which says that his divine power has made all things, has given us all things that pertain to life and godliness. Now, the Bible told us that he has not given us the spirit of fear, but of courage, love, and of sound mind. Which means fear tends to give us an unsound mind. Fear tends to give us, destabilizes us. Yeah. So, and the Bible also tells us that the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, kindness, and mention it on and on, goodness, self-control. I just skip some of this self-control. Against all there is no law. This is where I'm going. That if you realize that all things that pertain to life and godliness, you're missing it, and which is fear. And if you also realize that you have this constant fear, and if you realize that your peace is gone, please try and seek help on this basis, because this is not what God says about us. So please seek help. As long as God has not said it about us, please seek help. Don't think because you are coming from a spiritual angle you cannot seek a medical help. You can seek both medical and spiritual help, and make sure you seek help from a professional. So lastly, this is what I want to say. My own way of taking people through anxiety, and this is something I've done for people, and I've worked, like I said earlier, and it's Mr. Niger D. Do you still remember Mr. Niger D that were taught in school about the living characteristics of living things? Yeah. So when we do these characteristics healthily, you get on in your journey of overcoming anxiety. So I'll start by saying movement. You need to move. I know when we are anxious, we don't want to move. Cardio exercise is one of the things that has helped in overcoming anxiety. I have to tell you the truth. It's one of the things that has helped in overcoming anxiety. Take a walk in nature. Walk in nature. Don't just live a sedentary life. Move your body. Blood cells need to move around your body, to your brain as well. So movement is one of them. Ensure you have a routine plan to move in a day, not just sit around. Then respiration. Now respiration over time has been linked with mindfulness, and that is meditation. Meditation is you taking in here, like you are focusing your thoughts on something while you monitor your breathing in and breathing out. I have to tell you, it's been an amazing thing. So respiration, you need oxygen. Your brain needs enough oxygen. Your blood needs to carry enough oxygen. And when you are in a closed environment, in a place where ventilation is not enough, you might have to excuse yourself because you need oxygen. You need oxygen. So when you see yourself being in a place crowded and you feel anxious, that is a sign that you are not taking enough oxygen. Of course, it's one of the signs. Then the next one is nutrition. One of the things we have not been able to pay attention to is the effect of nutrition on our health. You are a person that needs to take care of what goes inside of you, and what goes inside of you needs to be healthy. It needs to be balanced. It needs to be what you need. Have you tried your prebiotics and probiotics? Have you tried to monitor the things you've done? And if you are anxious at any point, have you tried to monitor the things you eat? Now, when I say monitor the things you eat, remember I said some substances, some food, some chunks can really give you anxiety. So monitoring this is a sign that you are building yourself on a healthy path. And the next one is irritability. Irritability is about you knowing your triggers, knowing your own triggers. Mine could be taking Coca-Cola, yeah, and also height. Yeah, I have phobia for height and depth, and I don't like taking Coca-Cola because it makes me palpitate. It makes me anxious. I've known that. However, I don't take it. I have sleepless nights, and sleepless nights continue cycles of anxiety without any reason. And so what is your trigger? What is irritating you? I mean, what triggers you? What brings anxiety on in you? You need to know it. You need to know it because you have nerves in your body that goes through, that is all over all over your body, and blood circulate through those places too. So you need to know your triggers, whether it is food, substance, or whatever it may be. Just try and know what irritates you, what brings it on. Is it somebody's voice? Is it criticism? Whatever it is, just try and know it. Now, that's on your irritability. Then growth. On growth, I want to address self-awareness. There is no growth where there is no self-awareness. How much do you know yourself? How much do you know your journey? How much of this do you know? And this is one of the things that must help you, because being present, and which is considered as mindfulness, is a thing that helps you take your mind away from the past, be in the present, and not looking into the future unhealthily. So you might want to be self-aware and be mindful. And the next one is excretion. Of course, scientifically, there are some toxins that should not remain in our body. Really, they are things that we should excrete out. So you will want to take care of your kidney, and that still fall into taking enough water, preventing dehydration as much as possible, ensuring you are drinking water according to your body mass. Yes, get a bottle, drink water, eat healthily. And the next one will be reproduction. Now let me take a pause on reproduction. We see it. If you are not married and you're watching this, please just skip it to the next one. Yeah, but if you're married and you're watching this, try as much as possible. I'm not a sex coach. I have a lot of them in my corner. If you need one, I can bring one here for you. So you need to help yourself to have a good sexual life. Yeah, you need a good sexual life. What do I mean good sexual life? A healthy one, really healthy one, the one that benefits you, benefits your partner, and it helps anxiety because it releases some chemicals. It calms you down, really. So you will need that. So I won't really buttress on that because I have young men and women on this page. Now the last one is dates. I know you'll be like, are you still gonna talk about that? Yeah. And I want to say, what is your most daring fear? What is your most daring fear? And even if it is death or loss of loved ones, it does not have to be on your mind all the time. You need to create a part of acceptance or understanding such thing. What do you dare? What is that overwhelming thing you cannot handle? And that is that you need to create it. And to let you know that even as a believer, God does not want us to be afraid of death. Paul said that whether I live or I die, it is all to God. So basically, God does not want us to be afraid of anything apart from Him. Basically, anything apart from Him. So anything that we are afraid of is not what God wants us to be. Now, I want to tell you that if you've watched this video from the beginning to the end, thank you. I really do appreciate your time. And if you need help to be supported, to be coached in this regard, there's a link below to take you through 6 to 8 weeks coaching session. And I want to use this to give back to the society. I would love to take 10 people on a 6 to 8 weeks journey of healthy mindset, overcoming anxiety. So this is basically about anxiety. We want to achieve the result of calmness as best as possible and ability to handle your anxiety whenever it comes. You're not alone in this journey, and that is why we are here. Thank you for your time. I love you and have a great day. Bye.